Hi, I'm a Possum and I find garbage. Today's garbage is Captain America Brave New World. It's a Marvel movie. You know what that is. I haven't seen every Marvel movie and I wasn't gonna watch 200 hours worth of Disney Plus shows just to get up to speed before watching this one, but I do know some things just through cultural osmosis. I know about Falcon lecturing the audience that we need to do better. I know about the Witch Lady enslaving an entire town and then being portrayed as the victim. I know about She-Hulk twerking. None of that makes me want to watch any of them. I was hardly interested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe even before all that. But my point is, I know enough about this franchise that I would have been able to follow what's happening in this movie if anything made sense. Now, even though I didn't particularly care for Infinity War or Endgame, I can at least say they wrapped up all the storylines which were building up to and converging on a single ending. I don't know how far in advance the ending was planned, but Disney or Marvel or whatever at least had some idea of where they were going. But the problem with the MCU today is they already blew their load. It should have ended at Endgame, but no. They decided to go for sloppy seconds, and now they're trying to keep it going while struggling to stay hard, and now we, the audience, are just wondering when they're gonna tire themselves out so we can all roll over and get some sleep. And that brings us to Captain America Brave New World. I guess the title is a reference to the novel by Aldous Huxley, which portrays a one-world government which rules over a dystopian society in which people are sorted into social castes based on their genetics and controlled with happy drugs. This movie has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. It might as well have been called Captain America 50 Shades of Grey for how relevant the title is. From what I understand, the original title was New World Order, but they changed it because they were worried about conspiracy theorists or something. I don't know, it's stupid. Harrison Ford, who was reportedly a huge prick to everyone on set, plays General Ross, who's now the crooked president of the United States, who ends up turning into the Red Hulk. That would have been a spoiler if they didn't put it in the trailers. I'm guessing the filmmakers intended for Red Hulk to be a surprise, but then some studio executive who cuts his own hair told the marketing team they had to put Red Hulk in the trailer to make people want to see the movie, because people want to see superheroes fight supervillains and not just faceless goons. So instead, they withheld the real villain, which is a green guy with a big head who no one cares about. By the way, Red Hulk is in this movie for maybe 5 minutes. The guy who played Gus in Breaking Bad is in this movie for no reason, and he gets more screen time. For some reason, they cast a 66-year-old man to play this character named Sidewinder, who in the comics is some kind of snake-themed villain with teleportation powers. In this movie, he's just an elderly crime boss with a gun, and he decides it would be a good idea to ambush Captain America because he's an idiot. The movie's full of stupid crap like that. Who cares if the movie's stupid or doesn't make sense? It's a Marvel movie. It's just supposed to be fun. So is it fun? No, it isn't. It's the same thing you've seen a million times. Guy flies in, beats up some bad guys, something blows up, dude turns into a big monster and punches things, and some bad guy wants revenge. If you've seen any other Marvel movie, you've already seen this one. There's nothing unique or interesting about it. It's so paint by numbers that it feels like an AI wrote it. I know that's a trite thing to say about any bad movie these days, but it's true. This is just yet another assembly line production from the Disney Slop factory. You might as well stay home and jack off for 2 hours. At least that would be free, and you would have something to show for it afterward. I guess I'll explain the bad guy because his motivations are weak and nothing he does makes any sense, which is a problem because his actions form the basis of the plot. The main bad guy is a dude named Samuel Stearns, who I guess was in The Incredible Hulk 17 years ago, which I don't remember, but now he's green and has a big head because he was mutated by gamma radiation or something. And Harrison Ford has been keeping him locked up because he could predict and invent things for him because he's like a super genius now, or at least the movie wants us to think he is. The problem is he's a smart character written by dumb people. So Harrison Ford kept him locked up, green guy wants revenge. So when Harrison Ford starts having heart problems and tells him to make him some sort of heart pills, he secretly puts gamma rays in the pills to turn him into the Red Hulk to screw up his political career. Yes, that's actually his plan. So, setting aside the fact that turning your worst enemy into an unstoppable force of destruction is probably a bad idea, gamma rays are just high-energy photons, so the writers didn't understand that what they were saying is he put light in the pills. But that's not enough. The guy who's supposed to be really smart comes up with the most convoluted revenge plan possible, and it has so many moving parts and relies on so many assumptions and coincidences that it's the type of plan only a moron who relies on dumb luck could come up with. And I know they said he's good at making predictions because he can calculate possibilities, but that's just some nonsense excuse they came up with to justify how he could just magically know things. This is a dumb person's idea of a smart person. Smart people don't complicate things. They come up with simple and elegant solutions. Have you ever seen a smart character in a piece of media who uses a lot of big words and technical jargon, and there's always some other character who replies something like, "an English professor," because he can't articulate himself so that normal people can understand him, because stupid writers think that's how smart people talk? This is the evil plan equivalent of that. He's making things really complicated and inelegant for no reason other than some idiot thought that it would make him look smart. And it isn't even consistent. However smart he is seems to change depending on the needs of the scene. And he does things that make no sense. There's a scene near the end where he just shows up to tell Captain America his evil plan, and he does this for absolutely no reason. He doesn't benefit from doing this in any conceivable way, and then he just allows himself to get arrested. And no, this isn't part of some sneaky trick like when Loki did it in the Avengers. He just gets arrested, and then we don't see him again until the post-credits scene. Why? Alright, just let me explain his evil plan, because this is basically the plot of the movie. One of the Celestials from some other Marvel thing is dead and sticking up out of the ground, and it turns out its head is full of a magical metal called adamantium, which is the most valuable thing ever discovered by humans, so everyone wants it. So Harrison Ford, who's the president now, is trying to get all of these other countries to sign a treaty agreeing that the adamantium should be shared by all of humanity, and that no one country should control the supply. So Green Guy's plan is to screw this up by making Japan think the US stole their adamantium sample, and then use mind control to make the US fighter jets attack a Japanese ship to provoke a war and make Harrison Ford look bad and ruin his political career. That's it. That's why he wants to start a war, just to screw over this one guy. He could have just used that big brain of his to hack his Twitter account and post something racist. But this is the best idea Disney's writers could come up with to justify a conflict. So now the looming threat in this movie is a potential war breaking out between the United States and Japan. No, not China, Russia, or North Korea, but Japan of all countries. I guess Mickey was afraid of his social credit score being lowered. Anyway, when that plan inevitably fails, Green Guy's backup plan is to use the gamma rays he put in Harrison Ford's heart pills to have him turn into a Hulk during a press conference and start spurging out and destroying everything. And he turns into a red Hulk for some reason, so he looks like he's made of cherry starburst matter. So apparently that's just what gamma rays do in the Marvel universe. If it's that easy to make a Hulk, you'd think some bad guy would just make an army of Hulks. So then the climax of the movie is Harrison Ford hulking out and Captain America fighting to stop him. But he's just a normal dude with robot wings, so he's not really a match for him. So Captain America goes up to Harrison Ford and does the whole, "I know you're in there, you have to fight it" thing, complete with a terrible green screen effect. And that's another thing. Most of the special effects look okay for the most part, except for this really obvious green screen effect during the climax. I mean, it looks so bad that I would be shocked to find out if it wasn't green screen, because it looks like a Nostalgia Critic skit. I don't know what they did, but Captain America looks like a flat cutout over a totally blurry background. Like they just filmed him in deep focus and just composited him over blurry footage to give it that phony, shallow depth of field look. And they didn't even bother to match the focal lengths of the two shots they combined together. I know this movie had a lot of reshoots, but come on, this is supposed to be the big emotional climax of your $180 million movie. Let's talk about Captain America, the character. So the original Captain America was a guy named Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans. During World War II, he was given some kind of super soldier serum which made him inhumanly strong, and then he became a propaganda character before getting frozen and eventually thawed out in modern times, and became a founding member of the Avengers. But because of time travel shenanigans, he ended up getting really old in Endgame and retired. So then his shield was given to some other character named Sam Wilson, who was originally another superhero named Falcon, and he proceeds to use the shield to block bullets with a 100% success rate because the bad guys never think to aim for his legs. So Sam Wilson used to be Falcon, but is now Captain America, even though he never took the super soldier serum and therefore doesn't have any of Captain America's abilities, and continues to use the Falcon equipment, so he's basically the same superhero as when he was called Falcon, so why they even call him Captain America? It's like a Batman replaced Superman, but then just continued acting like Batman. They even called him Superman. It makes no sense. What's even the point? They should have just retired the character of Captain America and let Sam Wilson continue being Falcon, and then just made a Falcon movie. There would have been nothing wrong with that. But I guess they just really wanted to have a black guy become Captain America so they could show off just how progressive and not racist they are. But the implication of him taking up the mantle of Captain America is that it was some kind of promotion. Like being Falcon wasn't good enough, but this black man had to pick up the table scraps left behind by a white man in order to upgrade. It's racism masquerading as progressivism, which is pretty much the case whenever they race swap a character, because that always implies an original black character isn't good enough on their own and they have to ride the coattails of a more popular established white character. That's worse than tokenism if you ask me. And I know some drooling moron's gonna strawman me as saying a black man can't be Captain America, but that's not my point. Falcon was the first African-American superhero in mainstream comic books. Not the first black superhero, but the first black American one, dating back to 1969. You'd think an oh-so-progressive company like Disney would want to respect that instead of changing him into something else. But no, they took away his identity, forced him into the role of a white guy as if to say, here, we know you, as a black man, can't make it on your own, so take this pre-established character who the legwork was already done for by a white guy. And then they gave his identity as the first African-American superhero to a Latino guy. I have no idea who this guy is. I just know that he once took a personality test and failed. And I don't see how turning Falcon Latino is any different than if they turned Black Panther white. Did this happen in the comics? If it did, that's really stupid and the movies should have ignored it. Since we're talking politics now, like every Marvel movie, there's the obligatory strong female character, and in this case, she doesn't do anything important. She just beats up a group of trained soldiers even though she looks like she can't weigh more than 90 pounds. For no reason other than so Captain America and his sidekick can have a her don't mess with her moment. Unfortunately, this shallow attempt at bringing in the progressive audience backfired because the actress that got to play her is from Israel. So we had right-wingers calling to boycott the movie because the guy who plays Captain America said the character who's literally named Captain America and was created as a wartime propaganda character shouldn't represent America.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations.
And leftists boycotted the movie because there's an Israeli actress in it, and there were a lot more leftists than right-wingers calling for a boycott. So I guess that's what Disney gets for cultivating an audience of progressives, because those are recreationally offended slacktivists who will take any opportunity they can to play the hero via consumption or non-consumption of products, as if them refusing to see a movie is going to help anyone in the Middle East. Not that I'm complaining. Anything that causes Disney to lose money and erode their stranglehold on pop culture is a win, as far as I'm concerned. There's a post-credits scene, but you don't need to sit all the way through the credits to watch it. Is this green guy locked up in a prison cell in some place called The Raft out in the middle of the ocean, and Sam Wilson goes to talk to him for some reason, and green guy tells him some unspecified bad guys are coming. See, it's intentionally vague because that gives Disney leeway to do whatever they want because they evidently don't plan any of this garbage ahead, and will rewrite these movies even after they've already been filmed. They don't want to commit to any one idea, which is why they'll do things like green screen a guy sitting in a chair in an office. It's like modular filmmaking, where everything is made so they can mix and match as needed. It's anti-art. It doesn't even matter who they get to direct a movie like this, so Disney decided it might as well be the hack who directed the Cloverfield paradox. In conclusion, don't watch this movie. It sucks. Actually, you should just stop watching Marvel movies altogether. I know a lot of you have more Funko Pops than IQ points and will pay for anything as long as it has the logo of some brand you like, but you rewarding mediocrity with your money is why they keep getting worse. It's your fault that they think they don't have to try anymore. And every time a movie like this is successful, another potential movie which might actually be good gets pushed further toward the back of the shelf in favor of more slop like this. So you're actively making the world worse for everyone. Alright, that's enough. I have a challenge for my audience. In the comments, tell me the stupidest thing you believed when you were a kid. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Check my channel for other videos you may have missed since YouTube doesn't always tell my subscribers when I upload. And send me your fan art and support me on Patreon. The link's in the pinned comment. Bye.